This is a fresh download copy of the Create React App Starter template. Inside the app.js, I added a form with an input of the type text, the name attribute, placeholder, and a little bit of styling. The form also has a submit button with a class name button. I imported the style here, and when you navigate to the CSS file, you can see the style that I added: form group, form control, button, just to beautify this form a little bit. When you navigate to the browser, here's the form. When we fill this form, by default, it acts as an uncontrol form component. To make it a control component, we need to add an unchanged event handler to this input. It is going to take the parameter event. I'm going to equate it to a function name handler. The next thing I'm going to do is to create this function name handler, which is going to take an event. We need to get the value enter into this input from the event parameter. We can get this value from the event.target.value, which we are going to equate to the name constant. We also need a way to set the value in the input itself. This is going to lead us to creating a new component state using the useState hook, and we are going to set the default value to empty. We need to update the name state value on the input change by passing the name variable gotten from the event.target.value, which we created, to the setName function. Lastly, we have to let the value of this input be the name state variable. Before we navigate to the browser, let us add an onSubmit event handler to this form. I'm going to create a new constant form handler, which is going to take the event parameter. And the first thing I'm going to do is to prevent default behavior. The next thing I'm going to do is to alert the value of this name state. When we navigate to the browser to fill this form, it shows the value we enter into it like before, except that we are now using the controlled form. And when I click submit, it alerts the value entered into the input. Let us add another input to our form. By copying the former input, I'm going to call it the type of password, change the value to password, and I'm going to change the handler to password handler, meaning I will have to create a new password handler. I'm going to copy the name handler, change this to password, and change this to password, and set name to set name password. With this, I will also need to create a new state variable, password, and set password. I will also alert the password when the form is submitted. There is a problem with this approach of creating new handlers for every input. We could do this better, and that is what we are going to do in the next tutorial.